Hi, good evening. Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times and Aspiring Magazine. And I'm so happy to have our guest here today. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. Thank you so much.
Hi, Valerie. Thanks for having me. My name is Cassandra Sotos. I am the co-owner and CEO of AmpRx. We're a Nashville-based company, and we make voltage optimizing power supplies for guitar amplifiers.
Beautiful. Thank you. So I am happy that you took the time, like I said. And I want to know a little bit about your product inspiration, like what inspired AmpRx to develop the Brownie Voltage Controller and what gap in the market does it aim to fill?
Absolutely. So, I actually, my partner and I took over AmpRx a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now. It's our 3-year anniversary, and the original product called the BrownBox is a well-known product in the industry, and it was made originally for with vintage amps in mind. So if you consider that the voltage when the cream of the crop amps were put out was around 110 volts, like in the 60s, this device allows you to step down the voltage so that the voltage you feed your amplifier is era correct. And it turns out that that makes a really big difference in the way the amp sounds, the way it feels when you're playing it, and the overall health of the components. So that's where the original concept of our main product line came from. But over the course of managing the brand and managing the company over the last 3 years, I had a lot of people asking me for something smaller and for something for modern amps specifically, and that had a little bit more functionality that got the voltage to the range that is appropriate for modern amps. Just the same way that vintage amps need the correct voltage for their era, modern amps need that as well. And so this device is going to allow people to achieve that for modern amps, which of course there are a lot more modern amps out there on the market than there are vintage amps. We love them. We love vintage amps, but we got a lot of people out there playing modern amps and they want to take care of them too.
Hey, so why did AmpRx choose NAMM as the stage to Brownie?
So last year was our first time exhibiting at the NAMM show under my leadership, and I was very fortunate to have received the 2024 Female Entrepreneur of the Year award, which is actually what got us there at the NAMM show. And it was such a wonderful experience for us as far as our business, as far as personally meeting customers, hearing what people really wanted. And so, that's actually what allowed me to design the brownie in the way that I did. I kind of laughed when I wrote about the brownie that I designed it because really our customers designed it. I just talked to them about what they wanted. And a lot of that came from seeing people one on one and getting to shake hands with them at the NAMM show. So, considering the success that we had with it last year, it seemed like the perfect follow up this year to release a great new product for us that was hand tailored for our customer base in this format.
So what kind of response are you hoping to see from attendees and industry professionals? And will there be live demonstrations of the brownie at NAMM? And if so, what should attendees look out for?
So yeah, what I'm hoping for is that this opens the door to a bigger a bigger market, a bigger range of customer, because for a lot of years our products have been kind of put into the place of, oh, well, that's for vintage gear. It's not going to really help me. And this is the answer to that. So I can say yes, that might not be the correct solution for you, but now we have this. So I'm really hoping to get the attention as far as the bigger audience, but also to continue educating people about this. I think that the biggest barrier to entry to knowing about our products or using our products is just knowing what the voltage coming out of your wall is. We assume that you when you plug something in, it turns on and that's it. But actually, you asked how are we going to demonstrate our products? Well, at the NAMM booth, I have an amplifier that I built, a guitar amp, And instead of having a traditional back to the amplifier, I put plexiglass on it and I'm measuring a bunch of different voltages that happen across the circuit. So we plug the amplifier in and you can see how the voltage changes at the beginning throughout the entire circuit. And then we can use our products, the BrownBox and the Brownie, to turn up the voltage, to turn down the voltage, and see how it changes scientifically. That's the scientific answer to why it sounds and feels the way it does. But what really matters is how it feels. So we really encourage people to get one and try one for themselves or find a store that has one in stock and feel the difference. I can show you the science and the math, but what matters is how you feel when you're playing.
Very true. Are there any environmentally conscious design elements incorporated into the Brownie?
Well, we do as much manufacturing in the United States as we can. Some of our components do come from overseas, but the fact of the matter is that some of those components are only made overseas. So we do as much as we possibly can here in our shop in Nashville. All of our products are made by people. They're all hand wired by humans, and some of those humans will be at the booth with us, so you can meet them. And that's my that's part of my effort to be as environmentally conscious as possible is I see the people making our products and I know exactly what's going on in our warehouse.
As a musician yourself, how does the Brownie impact your creative process or performance?
That's a great question, and this is a very good part of the origin story of AmpRx for me. I was actually an endorsed artist of AmpRx before I took over the company. I play electric violin, and I was using the BrownBox on tour with a tube amplifier years ago. I stayed in touch with the inventor of the BrownBox, and that's how we ended up acquiring it. But I go back to the story of what it was like to use it for the first time quite often. And I think that it's a good story to tell because, like I said, we'll have the amp and we can show you the voltage, and I can write some equations on a whiteboard about why this and why that. But really, what happens is when you're playing live through an amplifier, actually when you're playing live at any time, there's this scenario is the most common one for musicians. One night you feel absolutely amazing while you're playing. You're connected to your instrument or your voice, sometimes your instrument. You're connected to the audience, and it's like everything that's here and here is coming out through your instrument. It's all connected. And then sometimes that connection is just severed. And it's like you can't play the right note. You can't like whatever's in your mind and your heart's just not coming out. And you feel the audience feeling it or not feeling it actually. And one of the reasons that that happens to guitar players is the responsiveness of their amps due to the voltage. So you have guys and girls saying, I don't understand. I had these settings exactly the same way. Every dial was exactly the same. I'm playing the same guitar. I'm playing the same electric violin. All of my pedals are exactly the same. And it felt and sounded so different the next night. This is one of the things that will remove that element of change so that you really know that you are feeding your amp exactly the same thing every single time. And for me, that's the important part of our product when it comes to musicians and making music and being a musician myself is that that moment when the connection is severed is the worst moment. There's nothing worse than that feeling. And it makes you question why you're why you were born. Why are you playing music? Why am I on the stage? It is the worst, ugliest feeling. And if we can help people eliminate that from their performance, I think that's extremely important. And then you can just enjoy playing your instrument.
It's a great explanation. So, Cassandra, as we wind down, what's next for AmpRx after the NAMM show and the launch of Brownie?
So I'm looking at the launch of the Brownie as a slow burn. Like I understand that it's not just launch week, it's not just launch day. It's making sure that the information keeps getting out to people. We are a new company. I still consider us in the startup phase, to be completely honest. So there's there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to educating people about how this is even a concept that they should be concerned about. Because a lot of people just and this was me before I got a brown box. I was lucky because the tour that I was on ended up buying them for the musicians. I didn't know what it was. I didn't find it myself. It was given to me to use on tour. And like I said, we take electricity for granted completely. You plug something in, it's on or it's off, but actually it has a lot of qualities to it. And so we're working towards education, just general education about the products and making sure that people know about the company. Um, Throughout the next year, we do have some more products that we are interested in designing and developing. I feel like I'm now on a roll for expanding our product line instead of sort of just elevating what we acquired. So this is giving me a good jumping off point for continuing to do that for other products. And I think that I'm also really interested in building community. I think that it's important for all brands, all companies to stay involved with their customers, stay involved with other companies and other brands, and work together to do better, whether it's helping like make musical opportunities for our artists or for kids or for women or whatever it is. I like to keep involved in things like that. It elevates it elevates the company. It makes me feel good about what I'm doing. It's good for the community, and I think it's just a good win for everybody.
Wonderful. Um, um, how can our readers and our viewers, anybody coming to NAMM, find you guys and tell us your social media handles or your website, please?
Absolutely. So we will be exhibiting at the NAMM show at booth 5630. And our website is www.brownbox.rocks, ROCKS, for extra fun. And we are at AmpRx on Instagram and Facebook. That's the best way to find us. I'm at Cassandra Sotos. If you find BrownBox, you find me. If you find me, you find BrownBox. So,
Okay, well, that was the way it was meant to be. So good for you. And we're the Hollywood Times. Today is our website and aspiringmagazine.com. And also our YouTube channel is the Hollywood Times Official. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening. And I look forward to seeing you on the floor.
yes, thank you
Great.
so much, Valerie.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Have a good evening.